Okay, trail dogs, as the thumbnail suggests, this is going to be a video about shoes. In particular, mountain biking shoes. But better than that, this is also going to be an unboxing because I've just bought a new pair of shoes. Hooray! Shall we see what they are? No, let's run the titles first. My name is Gary. Welcome to One by Bikes. Okay then, so seeing as this is a video about shoes, this must be a shoe box. Here's a knife, let's get ripped in. Let's see what's in the box. Get rid of them. Get rid of the box. There we have a pair of Leatt 3.0 flats. In this video, we will be covering flat shoes for flat pedals, not clips. I had clips once years ago, didn't like them, and will never go back. So that is the shoe. Isn't it beautiful? Oh, there's paper in the way, ruining the shot. Right, so that's one shoe. I think we should probably get some more shoes in on the action as well. So, joining us for a test, we have the Leatt 1.0. This is my normal riding shoe. We have the Ride Concept something, don't know, this is one of Sophie's shoes. We have Miles's Fox Union. We have the brand new Leatt 3.0. And we have a brand new 510 Sleuth. So those are the shoes. And to level the playing field a bit, and also to give us a guest from the world of skateboarding, we have a pair of Vans. Lots of people ride with Vans because of the sole. Now, the reason people use Vans is because they say the sole is grippy. Now, I'm an ex-skateboarder, sorry, and skateboards have grip tape on them, but Vans are renowned to have the best grip with grip tape. However, BMXers also use Vans, so I suppose we could start with the Vans and talk a little bit about them. Now, this shoe I got quite a while ago, never used, but this waffle sole is quite thin. It's quite a flexible shoe, so you can walk in these, you can ride a bike in them, you can even skate a board in them. Hey, skateboarding. There is virtually no protection across the toe. There's a little bit on the Achilles heel there. And you do get lower cut Vans, but this I'm going to call like a normal cut, not a low cut. Now then, coming on to the Leatt 1.0. As said, this is my preferred riding shoe, basically because I don't mind if it gets covered in mud, it cleans off fairly easily. The sole is more akin to the Vans waffle. But you'll notice it is very, very worn. I've had these shoes for about 2 years now and I use them most often. The sole is, I don't know if you can see that, it's really quite thin. I quite like this, however, because you can feel where your pedal is. You can feel it in relation to your foot. You still can't move it around because of the pins. You have to pick your foot up, as you know, and then put it down and hopefully you got in the right place. But I like being able to feel the pedals. A very, very flexible shoe. I'll pop that one back there. That one I would even say is more flexible than the Vans, if that's at all possible. Now, this one, the Ride Concept, is recommended by many, many different people because of the grip of the sole. Now, these are Sophie's. The depth of the sole, the thickness of the sole, you can see that if I press there, I'm making very little indentation at all. So I imagine that when you put these on a pedal, you're not really feeling the pedal. It's quite a stiff shoe, which I suppose is going to offer you a lot of protection. However, it's that lack of sensitivity that may not be great for some people. Now, moving on, we have Miles's Fox Unions. Again, they've got quite a, wow, that's even thicker. Look at that. I'm really pressing quite hard. If I go back to the Ride Concepts and press it. So yeah, I'm going to say that they're the stiffest so far. I suspect they've got some kind of shank in there. Now, a shank is put into proper men's shoes, basically to support the bottom of the shoe, to stop it flopping around. I reckon this has got either a metal or a very rigid plastic shank in there to protect. On to my brand new, hooray, shoes. These look absolutely fantastic. They've got a built-up toe box, as do these, as do those. I forgot to mention the toe boxes. We did mention on the Vans that there is virtually no toe support, and on this one here, check this out, nothing. So this has got a reinforced toe section, reinforced section at the heel. On the inside of the ankle, it's padded and raised. I'm not going to call. I would say on the inside that's more like a mid shoe. On the outside, more like a regular shoe. So they're an asymmetrical shoe. I've never worn these yet, but I have a test coming up. I'm sure that they will be adequate for the job. As far as sole density is concerned, yeah, again, that is really, really stiff. The stiffest so far, I would venture. Now, finally, we have Adidas 510 Sleuths. Now, I have another pair of these. These are brand new. Look, still got the tagger on them.
Still got the old tagger on it.
Again, that is a fairly stiff sole. No way as stiff as that or that. I think this one's the stiffest. But I have another pair of these, and when I use them, I find I can't locate my pedals properly. I can't really feel where the pedal is because they're so thick. I think I'm going to have problems with maybe I have problems, we'll see. But everyone talks about how grippy these soles are. And this is what we're going to lead up to in a test coming up soon. We're going to test the grip on all of these soles. Now, people say 510s have got the best grip. After just running my fingers down them, I'm going to say it's between one of these two. The Fox Union had incredible grip. The Leatt 3.0, again, I mean, yeah, I think this one's going to win. Got a test coming up. People say that in comparison to the 510, now the 510 is the benchmark shoe. Everyone runs 510s. You look around your bike park or your local trailhead, and 510s are the shoes that people are wearing. Ride Concepts came out with a new compound for the rubber sole, and there are a lot of people saying that the Ride Concept is now a better shoe as far as grip is concerned than the 510s. I think we will have to wait and see. But first, let's have a word from this week's sponsor. This week's sponsor is Geordie Jeans. Have a look at this.
Geordie Jeans, superior denim leisure wear, whatever the occasion. Here's what our customers say.
Alright, Kev, it's a sad occasion here at Uncle Jack's funeral, but I must say, you've got a dash in your Geordie Jeans. You seem to be stealing the shoe.
I know.
If only Uncle Jack was here to see how tight they are.
I know. They're especially tight around the ass.
I wish I was wearing Geordie Jeans.
Geordie Jeans. Oh, Randy Stewart, those jeans are a bit loose around the backside, like.
There is room for me farts to float about in, you know, like, for when I'm kind of new.
I wish I was wearing Geordie Jeans.
Geordie Jeans.
What? Have you seen Alan? I didn't realise what a nice arse you had till I saw him wearing those Geordie jeans.
I know, they are especially tight round the horse.
I wish I was wearing Geordie Jeans.
Geordie Jeans. Nice and tight, especially around the eye.
Okay, so in this incredibly scientific test, we have biscuit boxes which are propping up a piece of marble which we use to bake, and to stop the marble from just sliding away, we have a chopping board. And if we start the test with the van, or the vans, but there's only one of them, so it is a van, place it at the top, it refuses to slide down. I think we're going to have to up the ante here. Let's put in another biscuit box. So now we have two biscuit boxes. Let's see how the vans do with a slightly steeper incline. Yep, it's moving. Not very quickly. I think we can call that a fail, but let's see how the others get on. I think it may come down to timing. That is moving very slowly. So the grip, we'll call this the benchmark, and it's going to make it all the way to the bottom. Let's see how the others do. Now we're back to only one biscuit box and a new shoe. This is the Leatt 1.0. I don't think that's going to go anywhere. No, that's absolutely rock solid. Let's up the ante again. Okay, now we're on two biscuit boxes and in comes the Leatt. Now the vans already started sliding at this. I'm going to say that's a stick. Shall we go for, let's go for 2.5 biscuit boxes. And then if it manages that, we can go for 3. 2.5 biscuit boxes. Here comes the Leatt. Will it survive? Kinda no, but it's moving about as quickly as the... Is it stopped? Okay, I'm going to say that that's now stopped. Let's just go for it and try it with 3. Right, now we have 3 biscuit boxes. Here comes the Leatt. Now, I'm expecting this to take off quicker than a miscreant running from the law. Put it on and... Again, it's the back of it going round. I think if that stops, we may have to go... It stopped. I think we're going to have to go for 3.5. Well done, Leatt. Right, 3.5 biscuit boxes. If we don't do it this time, we're just going to... Well, I don't know what we're going to do, but I don't reckon it's going to manage. Put it up and... There's definitely a lot more grip on the... under the mid part of the sole. But that's a fail on 3.5. Let's bring in the other contenders. Okay, then back down to 1 biscuit box. You can see why I've got a bit of a gut. And here comes the Ride Concept. That's not going to move at all. No, it's just, it's not moving. Right, straight on to 2 biscuit boxes. And here we are with the ride concept. It does say rubber kinetics on the back there. You're not going to be able to see that because it's all dark. Right. Ride concepts, 2 biscuit boxes. Rock solid. Vans, not do. I think we should point out that both the ride concept and the Leatt have all been worn in, so that may have something to do with it. Right, let's try 3 biscuit boxes. So, continuing our incredibly scientific test, 3 biscuit boxes versus the ride concept. That is not moving anywhere. Right then, 3.5. 3.5 biscuit boxes versus the Leatt. Not the Leatt, the ride concept. Up, and that's going slightly. It is going to make it all the way to the bottom, I think. Don't think it's going to stop. The heel is starting to turn slightly. I'm going to give the ride concept the nod against the Leatt. I think that the Leatt performed not as well as the ride concept. It is going to hit the bottom, but we can stop that there and say that so far, this is top of the leaderboard. After 3 shoes, there we are, top of the leaderboard. Right then, back down to 1 box. Next contender is Miles's Fox Union. Put it on, it's not going anywhere. Yeah, absolutely rock solid. Let's go to 2. Fox Union versus 2 biscuit boxes. Not a centimetre. I think we'll go straight for 3.5. Okay, straight to 3.5 biscuit boxes. And again, Miles's shoe has been broken in. So let's see how the Fox Union gets on. Ooh, that's already going. Stabilize it. No, it started to go, and after I stabilized it, I can see the back end coming round. As soon as the back end comes round and it gets off the midsole, there it goes. This is performing remarkably well, but this shoe felt incredibly tacky. Right, I'm going to call this, yeah, definitely calling this the leader so far. Okay, back down to 1 box, and here comes the Leatt 3.0. Pop the laces in there. Now this isn't going to go anywhere. Ta-da! Rock solid. Let's go straight to 3.5, shall we? We tried to go for 3.5, but this happened. Okay, we went straight to 3.5, and the brand new Leatt did not perform entirely as I had hoped or indeed expected. So we've lowered our expectations somewhat, and we've gone to 2 biscuit boxes. Yeah, the back of the shoe seems to want to come round. I think this must be to do with the grip on the base of the shoe, because the midsole is gripping, whereas the back is just being dragged around. Yeah. Well, that's a brand new shoe. It hasn't been worn in. Make excuses, Gary, why don't you? Let's try our other brand new shoe, and that will be the Adidas 510 Sleuth. Here comes the Sleuth on 2 biscuit boxes. And again, that's moving. I think the bottom of the Leatt must be asymmetrical. We'll have a look at that in a second. But the 510 is also moving down, although not at the same rate. And if we look at the underneath, yeah, that's a fairly uniform sole pattern. Right, let's get the 510 in and have a look. Hopefully we can see. Well, the midsole seems uniform. There's a bit of funniness going on the toe and on the heel. What if we put it on backwards? So it would appear that the midsole of the Leatt has more grip than the heel, and I suppose that's where you want it. Right, let's go to final conclusions. Okay, Trail Dogs, so there we have it. 6 shoes with, shall we say, varying degrees of competency when it came to the very scientific test of the piece of marble stacked on biscuit boards. I think, if we're honest with ourselves, once you've worn shoes in, now all of these three here are worn, once you wear shoes in, there is a better element of grip. If I turn this one over, now I think this is the one that we picked as the winner. That is just, the more I press my finger into it, the more I press my thumb into it, the more grip I get out of it. This is fantastic. I thought that this would perform well. If I push my finger into it, my thumb into it, then there's an amazing amount of grip. However, I think from sitting around in a box, it gets a kind of a patina on it. Whereas the older ones don't. The patina's been worn off, and what you've got is the actual rubber. Any one of these are great. They're different shoes. Vans, you can wear them casually as well. These here, the 1.0s, the Leatts, are very comfortable. I can feel the pedal through them. This is the Sleuth by 510. A bit of a thicker sole. No way as thin as that one, but not as thick as that one. I'm going to call this like a mid-level. I can feel the pedal through these, but not as well as them. I'm expecting these to be absolutely solid. We'll see how I get on with these later on in the year, and of course we will get back to you. These are all different shoes, and I guess it depends on your preference. I would suggest, if you want the best grip, it's the Fox Unions. It has to be. Although this shoe is smaller and therefore does not have as much weight dragging it down, it performed brilliantly. The worst performing shoe was the Vans, but again, it's a brand new shoe. To round up, I'm going to say I still like my 1.0s. I'm eager to try the 3.0s. My Sleuths I usually wear to the park, but when it gets a bit muddy, I wear these ones. These ones are very easy to clean. I think all of these have certainly been through the washing machine. These have been through the washing machine, believe it or not. Hard to pick one as an overall winner, but if there has to be an overall winner, I'm going to say it's this one. Let's go to Gary in the other studio where he doesn't have a load of shoes and a table in front of him. So to summarize, by using what will surely become the industry standard, highly scientific piece of marble blocked up on biscuit boxes, we can, here at One Bite Bikes, recommend the Fox Union. It's got the grippiest sole, or does it? I wasn't entirely happy with the performance of the new shoes, and I summarized that because the shoes hadn't been worn in, they weren't down to their natural rubber state, they had that patina on them. If only we had some used variants of the other shoes. By lucky hap, we do. Gabby has a pair of the Leatt 3.0s. I've got a used pair of the 510 Sleuths, and I've also got a used pair of Vans. Not exactly the same model, but the sole is more or less the same. Let's have a look and see how they got on in the tests. Okay then, in summary, the clear winner has to be the 510. So the debate between the Ride Concept and the 510 is not a debate anymore. The Ride Concept is a grippy shoe. The 510 is absolutely still the king of the hill. Two other things I want to point out. One is the thickness of the soles. I prefer a thinner type sole, but then again, I come from skateboarding, so I'm used to be able to feeling the skateboard beneath my feet. The Leatt 3.0s have by far the thickest sole. As far as the difference between the Leatts that I use, or the Leatts that I use more often, and the 510 Sleuths that I also use often, is one of feeling. I can feel more or less exactly where my foot is with the Leatts, and their grip is pretty good. The 510 Sleuths have a slightly thicker sole, but not as thick as the Leatt 3.0s. I can kind of feel where the pedal is, and the grip is better than on the Leatt 1.0s. However, does it really matter? Possibly, possibly not. The less grip you have, the better technique you need. The same goes for clipped-in pedals as well. If your feet are clipped in, this allows you to get away with more nonsense. It allows you to develop poor technique. Remember Sam Hill. That guy was amazing, and he always rode flats. No one else in the downhill circuit, certainly that I can think of, rides flats, and very few people ride as well as Sam Hill. So, to summarize, choose the thickness of the sole that you prefer. Do you like a chunkier sole? Do you like a lighter sole? And then choose the level of grip that you want. I think if there is a winner in this test, I'm going to say it's the 510 Sleuths, with the Fox Unions coming in at a very close second. The Fox Unions have a thicker sole with less sensitivity. The Sleuths have a medium sole, so the balance between grip and sensitivity, and the Leatt 1.0s and the Vans have a thinner sole, good grip, but more feeling. So that's about it. Hope you enjoyed this. If you did, give us a like, or subscribe, or slap me on the head, it don't matter. All I need to say to you guys now is one buy is one more better, isn't it?